You're listening to the Big Red Barrel. This is the podcast, whatever that thing is. This is the Joker.
If the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say this was their finest hour.
We stand for Queen, Country, and Video Games. BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed, ahoy, hoy, ladies and or gentlemen.
I'm not a lady, Dan.
Yeah, but you are. That's Tim. Hello, Tim.
Hello.
That is quite possibly the quickest you've ever interrupted me.
Oh, no, we've done quicker than that. The stupidest interruption, maybe, but not the quickest.
No, Tim, I'm not your wife, so you need to allow me to speak, okay?
I don't think that's the way it works, Dan.
Well, if you listened to last week's episode, it did. That is exactly how it worked, Timothy. Anyway, I'm Dan. This is BRB UK. It's episode 253. Tim can't shut up. You've already heard from him. But a man who has some manners is Coleman. Say hello, Coleman.
Hi!
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good.
How is your job as an international garbage collector?
International Man of Mystery, you mean?
Is that what I'm doing this week?
No, you're a garbage. No, he's an international garbage collector.
I thought I was measuring trout or something.
No.
I get weird emails when I'm away.
Can you collect President Trump?
Who?
President Trump.
No, I'm not giving him any
He's
attention.
garbage.
Who was that?
Okay, let's
Who was
pretend
that?
he doesn't
I don't
exist.
know.
That's
Who was
better.
it? Good.
That's good.
Marvellous. If I deny he exists, perhaps he's like Beetlejuice. If you look in the mirror and don't say his name 3 times, he doesn't exist. That'd be amazing.
Perhaps he's like global warming.
No, except he'd be called
Just
orange
pretend
juice,
he doesn't
not
exist.
Beetlejuice.
Goes away. Orange juice. That's good, Dad. That's good.
I thought that was a nice little pun. Ah, hello.
Hello.
Hi. So, I've my route from Mac to Windows continues, and I've learned to love Windows updates that just completely poo the bed for something that makes, as far as I can work out, absolutely no difference to the user-facing experience. Of course, there may be important security things behind the scenes that it did, but just show me a changelog. That's all I ask. I want to know why you made me late for the damn show. What?
It stops the computer done breaking.
Well, maybe. But the computer was done working, mate. As in, it was working. It wasn't done working. As in,
it may break at any moment. Thus, the update.
Well, due to that, and I've talked about this before, due to the defining constant that binds us all, entropy, it would, of course, one day die. As everything will. I've had a long dong day at work.
A long dong day.
A long dong day.
Dan's been heading
from
to
wall to
Soho.
It's been a long dong day.
Long dong day for Dan.
It's been swinging in the breeze. It's been dreadful. It's been pressing up uncomfortably against me in a slightly too familiar fashion.
I think your mind's deliberately trying to take down the podcast and undermine you so that you can get back to Destiny. I assume that's what's going on.
Yeah, but I'm blatantly not going to be allowed to speak about that till what we done played. So we better get on with the show, Timothy.
Yeah.
Better get on with the show. The show. It's not going to get on with itself, so we need to get on with it instead.
Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it.
No, sorry, I would get that. I'm a bit sore after my long dong day. I can't get on anything today.
Bit more painful than a stubby day.
Yeah, exactly. Turns out length as well as girth is important. So anyway, talking about things I really don't care about, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
I couldn't care less.
Neither could I. Why are we talking about this?
No, couldn't actually care less.
If anyone out there who listens can let us know why I should give a monkeys about Kingdom Hearts, please write in. I'd love to know.
People love this game. Love the series generally,
and I have no idea why.
I have to say, the only one I think I played was the generally regarded, or I didn't generally regarded, the terrible version on the 3DS. I thought that was rubbish.
Yeah, people tend to go for the PlayStation versions of the game.
Although, Coleman, I mean, you bless your cotton socks. You had a copy of Kingdom Hearts once upon a time.
I did.
And someone stole it, Coleman.
Someone broke into my flat and stole all my games and console back in the day, so I never finished Kingdom Hearts 1.
Do you know what? That copy of Kingdom Hearts, you know what it became? It became an intervention. It stopped that man ever stealing stuff ever again, because he stole that, played it, thought it was so terrible that he just gave everything to charity. That's what happened. Everything went to charity, Coleman.
I can confirm, no, he didn't. He took it all down cash converters in Fairham.
Oh, did he?
Because you found it all in there.
I found it all in cash converters. Couldn't get it back.
But yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Serial numbers matched and everything.
Yep.
You see, Kingdom Hearts is a beloved series, though, generally, no? Like,
it is.
It seems like an inherently...
Hang on, why did Tim go back to the 17th century? It's beloved, not beloved.
Okay.
Beloved?
Beloved?
It was a beloved series. Hark, 'twas a story.
But...
Let's live on.
Kingdom Hearts with the character.
Rather than my pronunciation of a word, the one thing I would...
It was a game that smelled of poopy.
Kingdom Hearts just sounds inherently like a bad idea, though, no? Like, I don't understand why anyone ever thought that a turn-based,
It's unnatural, like cousins having a kid, if you ask me.
And yay, they combined Mickey Mouse with Sephiroth, and yay, it was good.
And an unholy thing sprung forth from the Lady Garden of Squeenix.
Although that has made me think of other, Disney things I'd rather see, and I'd rather, a Disney fighting game. That would be good, maybe.
That's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah, we said that about Nintendo
Mickey Mouse punching Donald Duck. That'd be good.
Yeah, like a Smash Brothers type thing. That'd be pretty cool. Or Disney characters in Smash Brothers. Every character in Smash Brothers.
I was thinking more Street Fighter myself, but
No, I was thinking more Mortal Kombat and Fatalities. I actually want to see Mickey Mouse pluck
rip
Donald
out Donald's
Duck.
spine.
Yeah, exactly. No, you chop Donald Duck's head off, pluck him, shove him in the oven. 4.5 hours later, winner chicken
on
dinner.
That, Donald.
That's what you want.
Get over here.
No, Pluto, don't go to the North Korean restaurant. Oh, God.
My prediction? Pain.
You're going down to Chinatown.
I'm going to leave you eating my dust.
Cough, Coleman. Anyway, yeah. So we do you know why me and Tim should care about this then, Coleman?
Yes, right, okay. So the whole point of this is D3 has happened last week, or this week, sorry. And
no, Destiny D2.
Shut up.
Okay.
Right. D3 is Disney's version of...
Destiny, yes, very good. Yeah, excellent.
Disney's version of Comic-Con, essentially, that happens just before Comic-Con. They show off all their properties, and one of the big... They've gone through a bunch of video games this week, including Kingdom Hearts 3. The big news about this is that they've confirmed it's releasing next year, which will make it 12 years since the last big console version. I think Kingdom Hearts 2, 12 years in between those two games. And they also detailed, so in the world of Kingdom Hearts, they do all these different planets, different worlds, and they're made up of different properties of, different Disney properties. This year, they're bringing in Pixar, so they've brought in Toy Story. Now, that opens up, could they be bringing in other properties that Disney own? Maybe Marvel or Star Wars, which a lot of people have speculated. But so far, we know there's Toy Story, and we know there's Big Hero 6 as well. And the interesting thing as well, so Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, these tend to be the worlds of the properties where they'll visit The Little Mermaid or Pirates of the Caribbean or something, and it will just be reliving the story from the movie with your involvement. This time, it looks like they're trying to make stories that are outside the movie, so they're not just rehashing the same old plot. Like the Big Hero 6 one, we saw a full breakdown of that a couple of years ago, and it's meant to be, spoilers for Big Hero 6, at the end of that film, Baymax gets sucked into this vortex and lost in another dimension.
Yeah, loses out to VHS.
Always going to lose to format war against VHS, let's face it.
But his personality chip ends up surviving so they can recreate the robot. But this version that's left in that other dimension in the game, in Kingdom Hearts 3, will be this twisted, warped version that's turned evil. So that sounds pretty cool.
I think I've just discovered what having a stroke feels like.
Oh, good. So yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3...
Keep your hands to yourself,
It's definitely going to be a game for those who like Kingdom Hearts initially going in anyway, but the interesting thing is here that they're Disney properties that are viewed in a different point than the actual, just rehashing the story that they've done before. So yeah,
That's nice. But one little thing I had to fact check because I didn't believe the words that came out of your mouth, Coleman, and I have run away, fact checked, and I'm coming back with my findings. It's not D3. I think you're confusing it with E3.
Oh, I probably am.
But it's D23.
D23,
which is the name of the expo, also the name of the official Disney fan club, and
a particularly obtuse dice.
Well, yeah, that wouldn't roll very well. But
no.
But yeah, but refers to 1923, which was the year that Disney was founded. So there you go.
Anyway, it's behind the scenes. That's what we call a typo in the agenda.
Yes,
good.
And you'll be pleased to know that D23, if that was such thing, would be an What the is that?
Stop trying to say it if you can't say it.
Trigon.
Good.
It's a 23-sided shape.
I'm pretty sure that was a mean-looking dinosaur.
Icosica-itrigon.
Okay, I'll leave Dan to pronounce that. There's also a VR game from Marvel, Dan.
This looks awesome, I have to say.
Tell me the things.
Okay, they announced Marvel Powers United.
Is there also Marvel Powers City?
No. So this is a co-op battle game with 3 players.
Right.
You can pick from a dozen different playable Marvel characters. We saw Captain Marvel, Rocket Raccoon, and Hulk being used. And unfortunately, Tim, it's an Oculus Rift exclusive.
I heard this, but just to add to your information there as well, I think they had a thing coming out of San Diego Comic-Con where they've also now announced Deadpool, and they had Deadpool playable as well, basically.
Ooh. What we saw in this is someone was playing as Captain Marvel. They can shoot like blasts of energy from their hand. Rocket Raccoon obviously has lots of guns, and then the Hulk is the Hulk, so he's just smashing and using like gamma
Hulk
blasts.
smash.
Unfortunately, it looks a little bit. I'm sure it's slightly more fancy than this, but it looks a bit like the first-person mode in the Street Fighter Switch version.
No, because I haven't looked at it.
No, but I haven't played that either.
It has that kind of, you're stuck in one spot. Just, oh my god, I'm watching a video and the person doing the Hulk flex looks like they're about to void themselves of their bowels.
Right, but it's one of those things where the video's never going to do it justice because it's in VR. Like, no VR experience ever looks quite the same when you're just showing a non-VR video of it, basically. But from reports of people having played through this, it is apparently plays quite well. I mean, it's a while off yet. It's not, for another 6 months or more. It's confirmed for some time next year, basically. But yeah, the reports are that it plays really well, and like particularly Deadpool had like a different variety of weapons, and he had like different guns and swords and all these different things. And apparently, that he was quite a difficult character to use because he's got lots of different things going on, but. Yeah, he kind of shows it off quite well, basically.
So is it essentially like kind of a horde mode type thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, all right.
That's what it looks
By the sounds of it. I think you're fighting your way through different floors until you get to a boss battle, basically, kind of thing.
Anyway, what was shown next was Star Wars Jedi Challenges, which is a collaboration between Star Wars and Lenovo. They've created an AR headset.
An AR headset?
That's correct. It's an AR game. We have seen no footage of the game, just a teaser trailer that shows a woman with the headset and a lightsaber.
Are you sure that is AR? I'm not sure that is AR.
Yes, no, that's definitely what I've heard as well. So
fair enough.
Other sources.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, that is quite cool, in fact. Although, again, it is just a bit kind of, here's what could possibly happen. Given and as we know, Lenovo are proud to be the data center suppliers for the Galactic Empire, which is very nice.
I mean, it's a Lenovo product, so it may be good, but it will probably burn your eyes out because it will be as hot as the sun when it runs.
Do you know what my favourite thing about any technology thing that comes from that side world? The manuals are just great to read. I love them. They've got no idea of tense or multiples or singulars, anything like that. It's just great. I mean, my motherboard manual advises me to super careful insert the CPU. So I did.
Sage advice.
Super
careful. It is sage advice.
Where did you insert it?
About my long dong day, Coleman.
Lovely. We also saw some behind-the-scenes videos of Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Marvel's Spider-Man.
Yes.
Not really much point going into those too much.
Yeah, I have to say, though, the Star Wars Battlefront 2 trailer does look awesome. Like, being a bit turned off by the lack of VR, I am turned back on by how awesome the single-player content's looking.
Hey, Tim, if you're feeling a bit short of things that are in 3D, all you need to do is open your eyes and just look around the room that you happen to be in at that point in time.
You can shut up about VR until you played VR.
That's fair. That's fair.
That is fair enough.
I mean, you've got a super shiny PC. Why don't you get a HTC Vive for it? It'll only cost you 750 quid.
Because my man cave is about the size of a shoebox. Which is why it gets ridiculously hot. Because it turns out CPUs make a lot of heat, graphics cards make a lot of heat, and it gets quite toasty in here.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dan, the next time you come visit me, you can borrow the official BRB Oculus DK2. How's that?
And then I can just sit in my little man cave, spin around on a chair, and be happy as Larry.
Who's Larry? Why is he going to be so happy?
Long dong day, Coleman.
Long dong day.
Long dong day. So I mean, I think in all seriousness, I think Battlefront 2 is shaping up to be, certainly by what they're showing us anyway, which may be a little different than the actual product we get our hands on, but it certainly looks a lot closer to what I think we all wanted with Battlefront 1, which was, kind of a really, if you're a Star Wars fan, it was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. It really kind of recreated, the feel of the universe, but did very little with the universe in and of itself. So I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was happy enough with Battlefront 1, but it didn't have the staying power. I just couldn't keep me hooked. And then the problem was, when that game first launched, we played a lot of that game, like in big groups and stuff. We were playing a lot of Battlefront. And there seemingly would be people that never logged off, would be playing for every waking moment of the day, just getting better and better and better and getting the highest weapons. It's like, how do you find the time to do all this?
Be young is the answer to that one.
Yeah.
I think that's always my problem, like Battlefield-y Call of Duty games, is that, kind of the better people keep on getting better. And, the longer you wait before picking the game up as a newbie, it will almost guarantee that the PvP element is, even more gut-wrenchingly crap for you, as you just get owned by everyone with the biggest, shiniest guns that just, if they point it at you, you'll fall over in a heap of atoms.
I like this idea of you, Solo, standing on Hoth with a cowboy hat and going, all right, the players keep getting better and I stay the same. Yes, I do.
All right, I've had a long dong day. I'm ready to kick some ass. Anyway, so it's not only D23 that's been happening. Evo, the fighting slappy game. Evo, the fighting slappy game tournament of slappiness, has had its 2017 incarnation.
Yeah, I did spend a bit too much of my weekend watching this, basically. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, yeah. I was kind of interested, having just recently picked up and been playing Tekken. I was kind of interested in that. And I've always kind of had a thing for watching high-level Street Fighter characters, Street Fighter players.
They're actual people, Tim. If they're on the telly, it doesn't mean they're not real.
I know. But the esports kind of thing is not something that I'm particularly attracted to. But fighting games is something that I can happily watch. I find quite entertaining to watch, basically.
So I mean, because they're coming up to a bit of a change of guard with some of the games that are getting prime time, aren't they? I think is one of the Marvel vs. Capcom's being phased out.
Yeah, and they had Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I think it's the last time it's going to be at Evo. I mean, they still had Smash Brothers Melee and stuff like that. And then there's some other games that I wasn't quite so interested in myself. But the two big ones for me were Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5. And both especially the grand finals, but a lot of stuff along the way, but especially the grand finals were really, really good, basically.
I thought it was really weird because watching I've never watched Evo before, so watching Tekken 7, it seemed there was two modes of people. One is blocking a lot, and then the other one is do the same combo over and over again. And I'm just watching this footage going, if I did that with my mates, they'd be having a go at me for, cheating, using cheese moves and stuff.
Yeah, but see, in Tekken 7 especially, there's massive combos that will all take off 50% of your health from just the word go. But there's this whole weird thing, and someone else that knows the scene a bit better was explaining it to me as well. There's this whole thing in Tekken where you do this kind of Korean backstep, as they call it, and it's apparently a really hard
it's like the truffle shuffle, but 3 times as violent.
Complicated set of inputs, but it results in what you'll see two high-level Tekken players psyching each other out by moving back and forward and kind of shuffling back and it's all about just trying to notice when the other person makes the tiniest of errors that opens up the way for you getting one of those combos in and stuff, basically. But yeah, I mean, Tekken 7, the one thing I really noticed having played it and spoke about it last week is that the high-level players really don't use their rage art attacks, basically. They use their rage drive attacks, which can you can use in combinations with combos, but they tended not to use their rage arts very much, which I found really interesting, basically, just from, using it. But as I gathered, as I guessed and kind of confirmed with someone else, it seems to be because those moves telegraph themselves and are much easier to block and then counter against for, like, high-level players, basically. But yeah, I mean, Tekken 7 was really good because, basically, I don't know if you know how the way these tournaments work, Dan, basically, but they have, like, a winner and losers bracket.
I have watched games of everything before, Timothy, that you have a game, one person wins, one side wins, the other side loses. That person goes on to the next round.
Right, no, but it's not quite...
You're talking to a man who's been on Games World. He's essentially an esports...
Eating my dust.
Timothy, people have eaten my dust. I was there on the bleeding edge of esports in 1994, mate. All right? So don't come here telling me, now, do you know how a competition works? Because some people win and other people lose.
But no, but it's not as simple as you would think. It's not like say, a football tournament where, the winner goes through to the next round and the loser goes home. It's not quite like that, basically.
It's a bracketed league, essentially.
Yeah, it's a bracketed league. And basically, if you go into the losers bracket, you can still win the overall competition, but to do so, you'll have to win twice as many games. And when you actually get to the final, you have to do a thing called a reset, where basically the one loss that you have over and above the person that you're playing against, you have to reset that loss. So you have to win one entire match, and then that kind of brings it back to 0-0, and then you have to win another entire match, whereas your opponent in the winner's bracket only has to win one match to take the overall competition. So yeah, it's a much harder thing to come back. And basically, in the Tekken 7 tournament, the guy did the reset, but then didn't actually win the overall competition. And on the Street Fighter side, the guy did the reset and then won the overall competition as well, which was properly exciting. It was a bit bad for the Americans, though, because the chap that got beaten under those circumstances was
Donald Trump.
Well, no, was an American. And believe it or not, no American has ever won the Street Fighter tournament at EVO. Despite it being an American competition, it's always been dominated mainly from Japan and other areas of Asia and stuff like that. But I think we've had a British or, we've had a French winner before. So Europe's won, but not necessarily Britain. But
USSR!
But yeah, everyone thought this guy was gonna win. And the guy Takeda that actually won is someone that's come second loads of times, has always choked in the final type of thing. And for him to actually go through and win was actually quite nice as well. So anyway, it's the most I've ever watched of EVO, but I really got quite into it, and it was quite interesting this time. So hey,
right, I'll stop making Street Fighter 2 country names.
I love doing that. Every time someone says Japan, I can't help it.
Japan! But there were some games announced at EVO as well. I understand.
Bits of games,
or announcements.
There's a couple of games, but
games and or DLC. Can I burn through these real quick?
Yeah, do it real quick.
We're like 20 minutes into the show already.
Yes, please do, Coleman. I was a bit worried we were going to get a breakdown of every match in every game from Tim. So
that's been Tim's Evo 2017 corner. Stay tuned next year for 2018, where Tim breaks down the entire show.
He would have just finished talking about the 2017 event at that time.
Next year, Tim will be doing live commentary.
Oh,
yes,
on his own. Shoutcasting.
There was a lot of shoutcasters.
Yeah, there were terrible casters there. Anyway.
Really? I thought there was a couple of them I really quite liked. Anyway,
right.
Tim, shut up your face. Coleman, talk to me about the games.
Right, Tekken 7, that's getting a new character DLC. Joining Akuma, who's jumped in from Street Fighter. Jumping in from Fatal Fury is Geese Howard.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a throwback, Fatal Fury. But will the kids remember that?
Who cares?
Well, I think aren't all of them in King of Fighters though? Generally, the Fatal Fury
usually.
Lot,
yeah.
I'm hoping this actually opens up the floodgates and they're bringing in more and more DLC characters from other shows. Because I'm waiting for Scorpion to jump in at any moment. Geese Howard's coming winter 2017.
Glad to see he's sticking his long neck out. Geese Howard.
Gooseneck. Attach your microphone to that and it bends. Gooseneck. Street Fighter V. Abigail from Final Fight. He's joining on the 25th of July.
Right, I don't know about you guys. I was a Final Fight fan back in the day. I had no bloody clue who Abigail was.
Abigail is the other guy he's the palette
Abigail Abigov.
Thank you. He's the other guy who's the palette swap of Hugo. But they've changed him to make him more,
different to her.
They've given him more character. But he's meant to be the biggest character they've got in.
Yeah, he looks huge. He makes Zangief look really small.
Seriously, that dude is off about being called a girl's name.
In Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, they've announced Jeddah from Darkstalkers. I don't know Darkstalkers too well.
Oh, Darkstalkers is so good. I really wish they'd remake Darkstalkers.
Even Ono-san as well. He really wants to remake Darkstalkers, but apparently Capcom won't let him.
Give me a call, Ono-san. We can make this happen.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna say encouraging things to him.
Say I like Darkstalkers.
I'm gonna crudely draw the one with the big boobs and the wings coming out of her head.
Morrigan.
There you go.
She's great.
The way you knew exactly who he was talking about.
I only know that one from Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
Fate of Two Worlds. 19th of September, that character's coming.
Splendid.
We saw a bit more of Dragon Ball Fighters. Fighter Z. They showed a trailer for Future Trunks.
LA like Speedos.
No,
22nd century Speedos.
Character Trunk. He's the son of Bulma and Vegeta. And this one's from the future, and he has a sword, and he's cool. He's my favourite character, other than Vegeta.
Aren't you a lucky boy, Coleman?
I can't believe Dan let you get away with saying the word Vegeta twice without making some sort of crude joke. Anyway, so I am surprised, Dan.
What, like Vegeta?
It just means vegetable.
Like Vag, is that where you're expecting me to go?
I know where I'm expecting you to go, Dan. The gutter, that's where I'm expecting you to go.
Right, okay.
Fajita. Anyway, closed beta registration opens on the 26th of July for PS4 and Xbox One users. That will be on the Bandai Namco website. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is a brand new game that's been announced that combines characters from BlazBlue, Persona 4 Arena, Under Night, Inbirth, and Ruby, which is the
Rooster Teeth animated
Rooster Teeth anime thing.
Extravaganza.
I don't like it. Anyway, in 2v2 tag battles. So that's coming some point next year.
Excellent.
And lastly, we saw a new game from Akira's, which was a April Fool's joke earlier this year. And they decided to make an actual game out of it because it received quite well. But it still doesn't have a title, so it's called... For now, it's called Mysterious Fighting Game.
I like the fact it's Mysterious Fighting Game, brackets, title still undecided in the agenda, which is about as mysterious as you could Roddy get, let's face it.
That is the actual working title.
That's brilliant. I'd keep it like that.
Yeah, but they showed a trailer. It's got these... it had 4 different characters shown off. I don't know if they're from any other kind of franchise or anything.
Garuda's from the same place that the next one's from, basically.
Okay, so Garuda, Sharisei, Kariri, and the one that I was excited about from Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha... Skullomania. Everyone loves Skullomania.
Everyone loves a skull, and they love Skullomania as a result.
I have to say I was quite excited about that. The trailer wasn't impressing me, and then Skullomania came out and went, oh, well, you're bringing Skullomania to the equation. But then, I think Garuda, by the way, was the boss in Street Fighter EX Alpha, or maybe wrong.
Right. That's where I recognised him
Where
from.
they can definitely get me signed up to this if they bring in a few more characters from EX Plus Alpha thing, maybe D-Dark, for instance. That was the one I'd really like to see, but hey.
There's going to be a limited beta test at the end of 2017, and the game's going to release sometime in 2018, which they hinted at will probably be the 1st of April, because of the whole April Fool's thing.
Splendid.
Good.
Good. So, there's been a lot of announcements. In fact, everyone's wanting to get on the announcement game. Even Ruddy Telltale are at it.
Yeah, they've done their Comic-Con announcements early. A day early, in fact.
And surprise, surprise, there are Season 2s of many, many things, including Batman, the Telltale series, Season 2.
Yes!
Shouldn't that be Batman, another Telltale series, not Batman, the Telltale series, because there's now more than one.
Still the same series, but it's a different season of the same series.
What's the difference between a series and a season without mentioning the weather?
Well, we don't use the term season in the UK, we use series,
right.
But in the US, that just means a continuing TV show. The season is it's the season it breaks into, whereas we don't use season, we use series instead. So it's just us using a different term to the US.
But why are they using both in there? Because that makes no sense.
I don't care.
cheating.
Shut up.
All right.
Anyway, the last game had Two-Face and the Joker. This one returns with the Joker and has the Riddler as well. And the first episode is out on the 8th of August.
Which isn't very far away, so get stuck in.
It's not.
Next up, we have The Walking Dead, the final chapter.
Which I guarantee will not be the last Walking Dead game, but it will be the last Clementine game.
Yes, and there will be some kind of zombie-based jokers to buy the next one, or there's another one after the final chapter. No doubt.
Well, because they've done this before. They ended a series of Walking Dead and then they went, okay, we're going to make a side story with Michonne. So I'm guessing they're going to do stuff like that to go forward. There's no way they're going to stop making Walking Dead games. They're super successful. Also, the one that's like the big one that was announced is The Wolf Among Us 2. People have been banging on about The Wolf Among Us for... Is it 2-3 years since the last game came out?
Yeah.
So they did kind of like a parody of the mean tweets things, getting different developers read out tweets of people badgering them for Wolf Among Us 2. So they have confirmed it's being made. It's coming out sometime in 2018. And I urge everyone to play that. Go play the first one if you haven't. It's really good.
Well, see, yeah, I thought that might be something that, they kind of moved past and moved on to kind of, no disrespect to Wolf Among Us, but like, bigger kind of more well-known titles, but good to see them going back to it and it
is genuinely one of the best Telltale games. I thought they might have lost out on the license to continue making Wolf Among Us games, but then they announced the Batman game, so I thought, hey, that's it makes sense.
I'm not a goddamn Batman.
But yeah,
I'm Batman.
Go watch the video. It shows all the lineups. It'll give you some footage of the games, and you can see Troy Baker wearing a really stupid hat.
Good.
Excellent. And everyone likes to have fun at Troy Baker's expense.
I like Troy Baker, but
Tron Baker?
I prefer
Baker,
Tron
yes.
Baker to Troy Baker.
Oh, Tron Baker would be awesome.
With 9,000% more lasers, which makes him better.
I like Troy Baker, but whenever I see him, his actual person and not hearing his voice, he always dresses like someone I really want to slap. So
you'd prefer it as Tron Baker because then he'd be all neon and cool, yeah?
Yes, because neon plaid is somehow more acceptable.
I'm sure he's a lovely bloke. In fact, I know he's a lovely bloke because he made us an intro that one time of him as the Joker. Yeah.
Oh, he did, actually.
I do want to see neon plaid now that you've mentioned it. No, though.
Neon plaid.
Yeah,
Bleezy, get making that. I want a neon hipster in neon plaid.
Oh, Bleezy.
Oh,
Bleezy. No, but talking about Tron and other blasts from the past, we finally got a little more information about this mysterious Atari release of a new console, and it looks like kind of a very nice homage to the Atari 2600, including one in original wood finish and one in red and black finish, but apparently it's going to be essentially a bit like a NES Classic Mini.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit like an Ouya.
Still not confirmed. All speculation at this point.
Yeah, no one really knows.
Yes.
Like they've literally said, "Hey, what would you like this to be? We want it to look like this, but what would you like in the insides?" Basically,
good things.
So yeah, it's a bit early, but I don't know about you. I am. And maybe this has come through the last 15 years of the Atari name being passed around from pillar to post and just, like, abused on T-shirts. I have to say I own an Atari bag at the moment, but that's beside the point. But generally speaking, I am very distrustful of the name Atari and that being slapped on things to try and sell them to me at the moment, basically.
To be fair, though, they certainly from the design they're aiming for, I think it looks quite, especially the wood finish one, I actually think that looks really cool.
Yeah.
As to what it actually is, I mean, chances are, I would imagine nestled under it is like a Raspberry Pi or something that's just running an emulator.
Just an Ouya and a fancy wooden box, Dan.
We know it's running off of PC hardware.
PC hardware from when?
I don't know, because remember from
1982.
We had that press release that one time, and all we knew about the console is it's made from PC hardware. So
it has a processor, also memory. More details are apparently to follow, but all we know is that it's got an Atari logo on it, and has 4 USB ports on it, an HDMI port on it, and an SD card slot. And beyond that, we're just making stuff up.
Good.
So yes, but there's also been a bit of a slightly left field announcement from Rockstar as well, who are presenting something called Red Hook Crit, which is going on the 22nd of July in Greenwich in London. So what the devil is this, chaps?
Well, basically, it's a kind of charity thing that they're putting together, so we're just mentioning it because it is a good thing. It also has the word red in the title as well, which, brings it to our attention even more, basically. But yeah, it seems like it's more of a kind of event is the wrong word maybe, but they describe it as a high-speed and adrenaline-fueled cycling event. Well, so they do say event. And And yeah, taking place on 22nd of July in Greenwich, London.
If anyone wants to thank us in advance for the Pulitzer Prize we're going to get this year.
It seems like it's a race, possibly, but yeah. But anyone that's looking for details, look up Red Hook Crit and get involved. But they describe it as a unique racing format, challenging competitors over a short technical race circuit, riding brakeless fixed gear bikes that are traditionally used on the velodrome.
I'll do you one better, Tim. If you want to go check out Red Hook Crit.
Grit?
Are you going to tell me that the Red Hook Crit is a track bike criterium held on a short technical circuit at night in front of thousands of spectators? Is that what you're going to tell me, Coleman?
I was going to tell you that, and I was also going to tell you, for more details, be sure to check out www.redhookcrit.com.
There you go.
And if you want to get on the cycling vibe, you can buy some slightly too small spandex tops with the word London on them to celebrate this.
I have those.
Yes, they do.
No, I have those.
Do you? Why do you have those?
I did a charity cycle a long time ago with Lawrence Delalio.
A little bit of my brain just exploded.
But yeah, it's free for spectators, so if you're interested in going along and having a look, do look that up and do so, and go give it some support, because it's a good thing.
Yes, charity good, not charity bad.
Charity good.
Charity good, me like
Puny
charity.
God.
Yes. Anyway, so I need to talk about now that we've done all the news. There is no more news. Is the news now old, and we can move on from it?
Hooray!
Excellent. I get to talk about Destiny.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week.
Damn it. I get to just a little bit about Destiny 2.
I mainly don't want you to, because I haven't been able to play the beta yet.
Well, you should have pre-ordered it then, Coleman, shouldn't you?
Well, you know, I've been unemployed for quite some time, and I don't get paid for a while.
Oh, this is true. Fair enough. All right, make me feel really bad. Why don't you?
You should do. I think you should send me some money, so you should pre-order me Destiny 2 tonight.
Seriously, if you want me to, I will. I don't mind. If you want me to, Coleman, I don't mind.
It's okay, Dan.
To be fair, he's going to buy at least 6 copies, so he might buy.
You may as well have one of them, mate.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have been playing it on a bog standard PS4, nonetheless PS4 Pro malarkey. It went live at 6 p.m. On Tuesday the 18th, so that's the day before we were recording this week. So I haven't.
So you've played it for 27 hours already?
No, I've played it for about 2.5 hours.
Lies.
No, seriously, I've played for about 2.5 hours.
What does one get with the Destiny 2 beta, Dan?
With the Destiny 2 beta, one gets...
No story.
It's a beta, Tim. You get the opening story mission, which actually is really very good.
You just said story, Dan.
No, there is genuinely a story, Tim. There's genuinely a story. Well, certainly there's every indication that there will be a story. This is the first bit of that story. Hopefully there is more of it to come. And there is lots of extra little bits above and beyond what they showed in the reveal events, E3 trailers and stuff. So I won't spoil any of that, but there are some really cool little moments in the story trailer. It takes you up basically right to the point at which Destiny 2 proper begins. So it's the whole sequence of the tower gets blown up, everything goes sideways. You meet, frankly, someone who can only be termed as a bit of a rent-a-bane. One of the leaders.
Oh,
of
is he the Cabal champion? Like he's called Steve or Dennis or something.
I am Gaul. Welcome to a world without.
He sounds a bit like Jeremy Clarkson put through a voice transformer.
What's the name Nathan Fillion gives him in the trailer?
Gary,
that's it.
Gary, something with a G. He is the something with a G. So you meet him, and hopefully he's got a bit more depth than just gravelly monologues talking about welcome to a world without light.
Oh, I've come to take the traveller from you.
Exactly.
What? I don't even know what that thing is, but I'm going to have it.
So that's the thing. And there's also a strike. Those are like the kind of long-ish kind of set-piece missions that are, you come across Destiny 1. And this is one called The Inverted Spire, where you are on a planetoid called Nessus, and the Cabal are digging up some Vex robot goodness, and it's all gone a bit wrong for them.
What planet are you on?
Nessus.
Bless you.
Thank you. It's also in the same system as I shit myself as well. That's another planet.
You gotta be careful when you sneeze that hard.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it goes to on hard mode.
Sounds painful.
It is. But then it's quite a long mission, actually. It's about, the strike's a good half hour long. And it looks like the beginning of it is actually one of the new patrol areas, because although they encourage you to go down a moderately linear path, you can actually go, no, I'm going to go and explore a bit. And there is little symbols of like the lost sectors, which are a gameplay feature, which they teased in the reveal of them. Obviously, it's all walled off with very temporary walls that aren't going to be in the shipping version because they're trying to continue a particular area. But, there is much more of a sense of scale in Destiny 2 than was in Destiny 1, certainly if the beta said thing to go by. And there's also 2 PvP modes, which are on 2 PvP maps. One of them is called Countdown, which is kind of very much
Carol Vorderman?
No, there is no Carol Vorderman.
Rachel Riley?
No, sadly not, no. Matches are 30 seconds long, and the first person to solve the conundrum doesn't get explodinated, is what happens.
And then the Cabal sent their mightiest champion, Rachel Riley.
No, I would like 2 from the top and 3 from the bottom.
I'll take a roll, please. Consonant.
Yes, that is, and it's a countdown is essentially it's a switch sides where there's an offense and a defense, and you take turns being offense and defense, and it's all about either you've got to kill everyone on the other team, or you've got to plant and successfully defend one of 2 bombs. And the real big change in PvP with Destiny 2 is that it's gone down from a 6v6 to 4v4. And certainly the 2 maps they showed are a lot more close quarters than any of the maps in Destiny 1 were. And I think there's still some balancing to be done, but it feels the kind of the time to take someone down is longer. Grenades are no longer 1-hit guaranteed kills. Supers, actually, the vast majority of them aren't 1-hit guaranteed kills, which kind of means you have to think about what you're going to do before just blindly going in and kind of pressing lots of buttons and hoping it all works out.
That's me buggered.
Yes, it is, Coleman.
That's my entire strategy.
It is. But, it has a bit more of a tactical feel to it. The game as a whole is a little bit more slower paced, I would argue. And
to its benefit, would you say?
It's very different to Destiny 1. I mean, there's lots of aspects to it feels a bit more. I mean, Destiny 1 was never really a fast-paced game, but this feels a bit more deliberate in its pacing. They've tweaked all of the supers and the classes, so it very much favours like roaming super moves rather than just a kind of essentially a quick splurge. You know what I mean? There's so many jokes. I'm sure you're really hoping I'm not going to make it, but it is kind of
what.
Because splurge sounds like splooge.
Yeah,
oh, right.
There we go. And yeah, so there's a lot more. There's a lot more kind of like a lot less kind of instant win, as it were. The things seem to be a bit too bullet spongy at the moment, but and they've given most of the sounds a real overhaul. The engine, the game to run, the kind of underlying engine of the game, although it's still obviously based on the original kind of trappings of Destiny 1, graphically it's a million miles ahead of the first game, and it does look unique. And the videos don't necessarily do it justice, because playing the thing, it does feel really quite different. And I think one of the things they've done really well, I would say one of the faults, well, there are many faults of Destiny 1, but one of them is that I think that bar the super moves, I don't think the classes felt different enough.
No, yeah, I'd agree with that.
And they certainly do in Destiny 2. And each class also has, in addition to like a grenade, a melee, and your super, they also have like a kind of a buff effect as well. So for the Titan, they put down a shield, like kind of a barricade, which you and your teammates can hide behind and then fire over the top of. The Warlock can put down kind of an area that either buffs damage or buffs healing, and the Hunter, I think, does some kind of evadey backflip twirly thing. And that brings an element of kind of a bit more strategy to it as well, and also it really helps differentiate the classes. Other things that have changed are that you no longer have a primary, a special, and a heavy weapon. You have kind of 2 primaries and a power weapon. Power weapons. Yes, Colin, very good. Power. Power. Yes. You have 1 gun, and you have another one, and you have another one that's power.
I have a gun. I have the power.
You do.
Power gun.
Yes. Yeah. I have a power. I have a gun.
Power gun. Power gun. Power gun.
Yes, very good, Colin.
Timely reference.
Yes. And basically the primary weapon is like a kinetic weapon, so it's like your submachine guns, they're a new type of weapon in Destiny 2. Hand cannons, auto rifles, all that. The secondary weapon slot is essentially the same as your kinetic weapons, but they're like the elemental versions of them. So you can run around having like kinetic
fart guns.
Yeah, you could if you want. Why not? You could have that, Tim. Let's just run with that. So you can have a normal fart gun or one that breathes fire.
I'll have a fart gun, please.
Yeah, exactly. So variations on the theme, meaning that you can kind of really tweak your loadout, and it makes it a bit more responsive because a lot of it stops you kind of camping on ammo and waiting until the absolute right moment to use something, which is good. And the power slot has stuff like fusion rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, grenade launchers, all of that kind of stuff. So
all of that jazz.
It really de-emphasizes like the kind of the prevalent sniper rifle shotgun gameplay, which is very heavy in Destiny 1. It's early doors. It's obviously the beta build they've released is probably a bit behind where they're at in the studio at the moment, but they had to lock it down a couple of months ago.
I have a question.
It does feel like a good improvement. Yes, Tim.
I have a question. It's essentially, why should I care? But to expand on that and not be quite such a dick with it, do you think they can do enough to attract someone like me that got a bit bored of Destiny and doesn't really have a defining reason to come back to it at the moment? Do you think they can do enough to attract me while still keeping you, a Destiny fanboy, happy?
If I were you, Tim, I'd honestly wait for the reviews, because I think it's always going to appeal to deluded fools like me. We're an easy sell, but I mean, a lot of it does depend on, because it looks like just in the videos they've released via kind of the early access stuff that IGN's been putting out, they really have thought about, okay, how can we actually make all the bits of this game accessible and not completely obtuse? And I think they've quite consciously designed bits of it where you can just nip in and out if you just want a quick 5 minute bit of gunplay, or there are actual overarching kind of story arcs now.
But my problem with it at the moment is that, I'm just fundamentally not interested in it, and I don't see what they can do to re-engage my interest at the moment.
Well,
basically,
fair enough. I mean, the beta goes on open access from the 21st, so you can always download that, give it a go, and then otherwise just have a read of reviews. I mean, I think it's shaping up to be a better version 1.0 than the first Destiny game was.
Yes, it's almost like the game they should have made last time, and I don't want to pay them for a third time for a game they should have made the first time is my fundamental issue, I think.
I mean, the guy who's the kind of director of the game is Luke Smith, previously of 1UP, and also the guy who was the lead on the Taken King expansion in Destiny 1, and that's arguably the best bit of content for the game that was ever released. He's also the guy who designed the original Vault of Glass raid as well. So he kind of has got a good-ish... A lot of stuff that's gone right in Destiny has had his name attached to it. So, and he does seem to give a bit of a crap about it, which is good. But, if you're not sure, download the open beta, see what you think of it, and then just keep your eyes peeled.
It should be out by the time people are hearing this podcast.
Well, with only yes, maybe.
Yay!
That's me. So anyway, that's that. But Tim, I want to hear something exciting.
Do you?
Yes, I do. And Coleman, you can talk about this as well. For a game I kind of recently rediscovered on the PC, I just played through Superhot.
Super hot.
Yes.
Hot.
And the PSVR version is a thing, and you guys have played it, so I'm really interested to hear about it.
And I had my head turned to this by Coleman saying that it was his favourite VR game that he's played. But I have to say that I I didn't quite like. No, it's unfair. I kind of saw what the fuss was about with Superhot, but I kind of determined it as not really my thing. Like I kind of.
It's so.
I played it in demo, and maybe it just didn't quite click with me, and I kind of stepped away from it, and I was like, okay, that's for something else. I had my head turned back onto Superhot.
Come on, what you did? You went,
maybe the VR version is
not
is apparently a very high quality VR game, and I could kind of see how the mechanics would appeal to me and work within a VR environment, and I'm glad that I did, because from the little bit that I've played, and Coleman has probably played a little bit more than me, even of the PSVR version, but from the little bit I played, I am very happy that I came back to it, because it does seem very good, basically.
I've not managed to catch up to the point I was on the HTC Vive. It's a really good port on the PSVR, but the PSVR has some limitations.
Technical
limitations. So whereas with the Vive, I'll pre-emphasize that I have spoken about Superhot VR on the show before. I went into quite a lot of detail. There is a whole episode on that. I'll find the number in a moment. But going back to it, as a port on the PSVR, taking that Vive version, in the Vive, I could duck behind stuff and I could poke my head up and sort of blind fire and stuff. I can't really do that with the PSVR, because I can duck and take cover, and then suddenly my hands don't work anymore. I can't pick up items. I can't pick up weapons that are on the floor. It's not on everything, but it happens every now and then, and it is enough to get frustrated with.
I had to say, though, I think that's more a function of you having seen that. I know, like, as I said, you're further in the game than I am.
You've only done the first few levels. Yeah. Wait till you get to the points I'm at, and then you'll see exactly what I mean.
I can see it getting a bit tricky.
Where you try to grab a gun, and your hand starts floating away into the sky.
Does it kind of the ramp up in the same way to the original game, where initially it's you just picking stuff off the floor, but then it gets into you're hitting someone to get them to drop the weapon, and as it's in midair, you're grabbing it, turning it on them, then throwing it at someone else? Is that kind of level of stuff? Yeah,
that stuff all works absolutely fine. It's the cases of you'll start in an area, you'll be surrounded by bad guys that you've got to shoot, and you'll have like a small wall in front of you that you have to duck down, and there'll be like a pile of little cache of weapons on the floor, and when you go to grab something, then your hands just disappear, and you're like, oh crap, and then what do I do? The cool thing about the Superhot on the VR, though, is that
on the VR
on the
virtual realities.
But yeah, one of the cool things about it is that powers start to get introduced into the game.
Oh, cool.
I can't remember if there were on the previous game. I haven't played it for quite some time, but it'll have like motions of you clicking the triggers together and then moving your hands in a particular way, and you'll fire like sonic blast to explode someone's head. Nice. But it'll have a limited use, so you can use it like one go in a single level and we'll have to wait for it to recharge. So there's cool little additions like that, but it is, I will genuinely say, it is the most fun. It is my favourite VR game. It's the most fun I've had in VR, and I'll probably put it down as, I think it is technically the best VR shooter, just because of the mechanics of being able to sort of stop and figure out what you're doing and then take the shot, and it just makes you feel cool as well.
Yeah, it's very much about player empowerment, basically. It really does make you feel like, like a powerful kind of, godlike type thing.
And like the original game, Coleman, does it still do the thing that even if you're not moving, time still inches very slowly forward?
Very slowly, but I can't tell if that's just because I'm ever so slightly moving. Yeah. You can't help it. You can't stand perfectly still in that game. One thing that I wasn't sure last time, I thought that time moved when you moved your head. No, it doesn't. It's just your body and your hands.
I do like the fact, though, that if like someone's coming in front of me and I'm waiting to punch them in the face, can do a little dance to speed them up.
Yes.
It just looks silly, but it's quite good fun. Also, just for the record, episode 249 was where you spoke about VR previously, if anyone wants to look that up. But
one of the cool things as well, it's being able to shoot bullets at other bullets or use items to deflect bullets.
Yeah.
I had a moment where there's 3 guys in the level. The one in front of me has a knife. So you're meant to take down the guy with the knife, grab his knife. Then one person has a gun, so you're going to throw the knife at the guy with the gun. Then he obviously, when he shatters, his gun goes in the air. You catch it, shoot the other guy who's on a stairwell with another gun. I could never seem to get the timing of this right because I suck at throwing items. Very rarely I'll get them right. So I kill the first guy, I'll grab the knife, and then while they're firing bullets at me, I'll just keep deflecting them with the knife. And I did it for so long that I got some kind of some trophy for it, where it was like Choppy Choppy or something it was called. I was just slicing bullets out there again. I feel really cool right now. How was your overall experience with it then, Tim? Because I've spoken about it before, and like I can only really comment on the port to PC to PlayStation.
Yeah,
but
as I said, it's going to be like something that I might have a better opinion on going forward. But from what I've seen of the early portion of the game, at least, it's definitely, as I said, it really it centers on the player empowerment, and that whole time mechanic kind of plays into that as well. But just throwing objects and catching things. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is that the throwing objects does seem to be not quite as precise as I'd like it to be.
Yeah, you've got to do some sort of some practicing to get that down.
But yeah, other than a slight issue that we had when I registered myself, like when we started up the game, and it put me outside the room that I was supposed to be in to start with, which was a bit weird. But yeah, other than that, I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into that a bit more and playing a bit more of that. We won't have time to go through the rest of it, but I did actually play a whole plethora of new VR experiences. Don't play the Tomb Raider content, that's terrible. But anyway, generally speaking, this was right up there with definitely one of my preferred VR experiences so far, basically. And just while we're on the subject of VR, before we move off it as well, there is a massive summer sale that's just kicked in on PlayStation, and there are loads of VR games that are involved in that sale. Some of them are like up to 60% off and stuff, and some of those prices are literally irresistible. I'm going to be picking up another
I think if they are, you just have absolutely no self-control.
That is possibly the case. But basically, anyone that hasn't picked up Dick Wild, which we talked about on the show a bit ago,
it's like my long dong day, but in VR.
Yeah, it's like £7.40 or
it's
something
like it's
at the moment.
Coming right at you.
If you have the aim controller, you definitely need to buy that game. Likewise, I think
if you just have the two move ones, then you definitely need to pick up that game.
Yeah, even if you just have the two move controllers, it's definitely worth picking up. And if you do have the two move controllers, also Rush of Blood is down to like £6 or something ridiculous as well. So you need to pick that up too as well. So because they're two of my preferred games so far on the VR, basically. So anyway, but yeah, another one that we will mention just very quickly, because Coleman and I got to play through the first few levels, although Coleman may have fallen asleep. What we've been referring to
sounds like a glowing recommendation. That's fine.
Well, no, he wasn't playing at the time. So
really tired.
We were taking it in turns, basically. But yeah, a game that I keep on referring to as Get Steven, but is actually called Get Even. Yeah, it's a kind of little game that I kind of saw a few reviews sprout up for it recently, and I don't know,
it's not doing well.
Well, no, like I saw very kind of like 3 to 4s out of 5 kind of ratings for it.
I've seen some not so good reviews.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was curious because I was told a few things about it. Just full disclosure, we were given review copies when we went to go see Bandai Namco. They said there was one we wanted to take a look at, so we did, and it's definitely not perfect, and we possibly need to get in a little bit further to see exactly where the story's going with it, because it seems to be something about a girl, and I'm not sure your exact relationship with that girl, but the girl's been kidnapped and you're trying to chase after her and kind of with her. But yeah, it's a weird thing where you're moving through environments which seem kind of sparse on other people, at least in the early stages. There are other people that are threats, and you can take those out with guns or just by sneaking up and kind of, stealth takedowns and stuff. But generally speaking, it seems to be more about exploring the environment, finding clues within the environment.
So as far as I know, the setup is essentially you wake up with no memory of events, but you're in like an old asylum. And the only thing you can remember is trying to rescue that girl who had a bomb strapped to her chest or something. And the MacGuffin is that you've got some science in your face that allows you to play back some memories or something.
Well, no, not really in your face, but basically you, at the end of the first level, and spoilers, but at the end of the first level, you kind of get to that girl, but then something happens and you're kind of like, you taking out of it again, and it doesn't really explain, but you're kind of put back into a place in an environment you don't really know how you got there again and stuff like that. But most of the stuff that you've got to help find clues with the environment and do stuff and everything else is all kind of based on your phone. And I kind of like it. It's almost like it's got an app for it's got like an app for a UV light and stuff like that type of thing. But you have got like different apps that you can scroll through on your phone, and one of them's just essentially like a GPS map type thing that you can see map of your environment. But I think it marks enemies on the map as well, basically. But then you've got different sort of gadgets and stuff for like finding your way through the environments and helping you find the clues and stuff that you need to get through that environment. It's also it also kind of takes part of one of your gadgets as well. You've got this thing where you basically you've got like a silence that you connect to this part of this gun. It goes on the front part of the gun, and then you've got your phone that you mount onto the gun, and then you can use it to fire around corners, fire at right angles, which I can't remember. I've seen it in a game before where you had a gun that could fire around corners, but I can't remember what game that was. Was it Splinter Cell or something like that?
I think it was like Minority. It was in a film as well. Minority Report, was it? I can't quite remember.
Possibly,
but I mean, it's
Mary Poppins.
But yeah, it feels quite
Mary Poppins. Yeah, that's it. That and the Care Bears movie had one as well.
It feels quite gadgety and quite cool. As I said, there hasn't been, at least in the early levels, there hasn't been too many enemy encounter type things. But it does definitely. You seem to benefit from not getting seen in the environment and kind of, getting through without being seen. So having a gun that fires around corners where people can't really see you, like pop this gun around the corner to shoot them, is really quite handy in that kind of thing. As I said, it'd be interesting to see where the story goes and how mechanically sound it is throughout. But I kind of like some of the things that they're doing with the phone, especially, and with some of those mechanics. It's an interesting premise and setup, at least, basically.
Hey, Dan.
Yes.
Can I tell you the protagonist's name?
Oh, God.
Bob. Eve.
He has got the most generic kind of action movie
the name
style.
just invented was better.
Is he called Coal Black?
He is called Coal Black.
That is amazing.
Coal Black.
Coal Black.
I woke up with no memory, but I remember a teenage girl. That's it.
I woke up with no memory apart from a memory of one thing. I forgot.
My name's Coal Black.
The other part.
No accents.
That's just reminding me. The other thing that comes through on your phone are like text messages, which are kind of setting up how the story's going and what's going on. Yeah, but it kind of works. Like you often get like a message within a game that kind of tells you something, and you're like, oh, well, how do I know that generally anyway? But in this, you're getting like messages, and it's often like the first thing you get is like a "do not come here," and you're like, well, that's where I need to go then, basically, kind of thing. But yeah, as I said, interesting premise and well set up, and I'll be interested to see where it goes.
A rambling introduction to a game. We're talking about the mechanics, yet not the overarching themes to it. Congratulations, Tim, once again. So anyway, that's your lot. No more talking. You said that was going to be brief. It wasn't.
Well, it was brief.
I think he was confused. He said he was wearing briefs.
Right.
On his head.
Hold on, I'm not wearing any briefs.
Okay, good, marvellous. Too much information.
Naked Wednesdays.
Yeah, no. Just no. Anyway, I hear people are clamouring for a short-form verbal discourse about a topic, otherwise known as the Great British Debate. So we're going to do one, chaps. We're going to do one.
British Debate. It is back, and we're about to do one, and that's a thing that is happening.
Voice, Common. It doesn't
that's
need a
not
wrestling voice.
No, that's not wrestling voice.
Yeah, let me tell you about the Great British Debate, brother. It's time to ask if we're going to take the SmackDown with the crack. I can't figure.
No, SmackDown with the crack. Wow.
I was going to say SmackDown with the
Wow,
crackdown,
Common, that's
and then
not the way to spend your first paycheck, buddy.
On the Great British Debate this week, our topic is very topical. Is VR dead?
Yes.
I've written it. Is VR deed?
All right, to channeling your
Definitely
Brady.
not deed.
That's my inner Brady.
Okay, I put VR on my head, so I don't like putting things on my head, so is it deed?
So, interestingly, arguing that yes, VR is dead will be Tim.
Oh, no.
And arguing no, VR is not dead, it's alive and well, is Dr. Dan Gibbons.
Oh, God, it's like a turkey voting for Christmas. Why do I have to argue for it, Coleman?
I don't know, who wants to go first?
I'll
Dan
go first.
does.
Dan wants to go first, so Dan, you'll be...
Well, I don't want to, but I will.
I'll put 30 seconds on the clock. Because we don't have a clock. That means I'm padding for time while I pull out my stopwatch. Dan?
Oh, that's what you're pulling out. Phew.
Get ready to debate.
Okay.
Now.
Well, if you're anything like Tim, who is, let's face it, the world's foremost authority on why VR is good and stuff, you want an escape from the tawdry day-to-day existence that is your life. VR will allow you to do this, to exist in a fantastical world which doesn't resemble the mind-numbing drudgery you have day in and day out. So for that reason, and for that level of escapism, and, let's face it, we're all fat buggers who love to sit still in a chair, you need VR in your life. And so it is not dead.
Stop, you're out of time. Tim, you're going to be arguing why VR is dead and a waste of money. Ready?
Impartial, Coleman. Good bad.
Ready? Go!
Well, contrary to the complete opposite, which I said in a very long article this week called VR is dead, long live VR. But yeah, a lot of people are saying VR is dead, and they are right. They are 100% correct. It is definitely dead. The stuff from the 80s or 90s, whenever it was, the arcade stuff, totally dead. That died a death. You don't see any arcades even these days, let alone the VR virtual sets from those days. I challenge you to find one. You can't.
Stop.
It's not done.
Stop.
Coleman,
Yeah.
I have a point of order.
Go.
This actually, what Tim was going to go on to argue is that actually VR in the 80s and 90s is a very different thing to what VR these days is, therefore he can argue it without feeling that he is cheating on his PSVR headset.
You can't debate the debate.
Loopholes.
That's not how this works.
I argued the point. I said VR was dead.
I was a
It is dead.
professional and I put my own views to one side to make a convincing argument that was largely based on Tim's life is and that's why he needs VR.
See, that wasn't a good enough argument anyway. But
It was good, but it was a very
a decision.
It was a very slow-paced and methodical argument from Dan. But
Padding
then again,
for time.
Tim finally admitted that VR is dead and a waste of time. So there you go. Tim wins.
Fair enough. That's a decision I can get behind.
Hooray!
Right, we need to get out of here because we are still talking and the clock is still ticking. So Tuesday is a Tuesday, and the next Tuesday on my calendar is on the 25th of July for July. Yes.
You have a really strange calendar.
Why, Delilah?
No, I've had a long dong day. We've already established this. Carry on.
It's a long, long day. Well, yes, we're recording a day earlier than you. Also, Tuesday was only yesterday. It felt
It's
like
almost
yesterday,
like today's
and it was.
on Wednesday.
But yeah, basically, we had the culmination of our series of video game based board and card games, basically, and last week was our end kind of massive prize giveaway for that. So not only did we have the massive game that is Dark Souls, the board game, which is literally the board game, board game equivalent of Dark Souls. But yeah, basically,
I'm not sure why that statement needed clarification.
I messed up a joke, Dan. Okay. Don't hold it against me for the rest of my life.
Dark Souls, the board game, is the board game with Dark Souls.
Anyway,
thanks for clearing that up, mate.
Don't hold your long dong against him, Dan.
But we also, don't hold your long dong against me. Anyway, right. We also gave away 2 big red barrel bags of extra prizes as well, and also a bag of Bandai Namco kindly supplied of numbskull stuff for Tekken 7 as well, basically. So we had a whole massive amount of prizes. Thank you very much for everyone that gave us the prizes for that. Thank you very much to Steamforged, who are the people that made the Dark Souls board game. Thank you very much to Bandai Namco. Thank you to Numbskull. Thank you to Ripstone Games. And thank you to all the other people that supplied t-shirts and everything else that went in there as well. There was an absolute massive amount of prizes. We've never given away so much stuff in one time. And yeah, it was a really cool night. It seemed like a really nice atmosphere last night. I mean, it generally is, but it seemed there was an extra buzz in the air last night, and it was really good fun. It's been a pleasure. It's generally always a pleasure to host, but especially when nights are that fun generally. And yeah, thank you to everyone that came along. It was really good, and we were really pleased to have you there. Next week's game is an absolute stonker as well. moving out of our video game stuff kind of frees up and means that we can have, like, the next few weeks are all going to be great games, because there's some of the hot stuff that we got coming out of UK Games Expo. We did all the video game stuff because it kind of made sense, but this one is a big game that only came out a month or so ago, or maybe as much as 2 months, but not, it's still kind of fresh and a really good game. It's called Century Spice Road.
Hey. Can I just say, I've played this game and it's a really good game.
Yeah, see? And it's a little bit like Splendor. There are a lot of people bring comparisons to.
No,
the game. The board game. But,
because I tried playing Splendor, dull.
Not as good. And this is more spicy than sweet. But yeah, basically you are trading spices, and it's kind of an engine building game where you're kind of like building stuff to kind of get more resources and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a really good game. It's kind of really nice thematic as well, basically. It's going to be a series of games called Century something, basically. And this is the first one in the series. And yeah, it's come out to really high praise, and I think it's universally generally liked and should be a really good game. Anyone that doesn't know, we have a different feature game every week, and if you come along and play with us, you can get a chance to win a copy of the game at the end of the night. Do come along. Details are on BigRedBarel.com, top left-hand corner.
There's also a review on BigRedBarel.com of Splendor, of the Century Spice Road.
There's also a review of Century Spice Road by Alex, and yeah, you can read that on the site if you want to get some more information on the game. And you can also go along to our Tabletop Tuesday group on Meetup, where you can get more details as well, basically. But come and join us in Loading Bar in Dalston, win yourself a copy of the game.
Right, good.
Tuesday, the 25th.
Very good, well done. That is the longest description of a Tuesday I've ever heard.
Spicy!
Yes. I want something spicy.
Spicy meatball.
Wow, no need for the racist accent, Tim. Jesus.
That was Mario-esque.
I'm disappointed.
Fine.
I'm disappointed in you.
It's not racist if it's Mario, is it, really?
At BRB Tim on Twitter. Hashtag not all Italians.
Not all Italians come out of pipes.
Whoa, you went there. Whoa.
Hey, let's wrap up. I want to go.
Hey, let's do that. So we just need to say thank you to a couple of people before we disappear like a bad dream. This show was. From the forums, I would like to say thank you to Stingo. And from Twitter, I'd like to say thank you to Rob Evans and Richard Kirk, who thinks Coleman's new job is a Brexit negotiator.
Damn it, he's figured it out.
I wish it was. Then at least someone with a brain cell would be doing it. Anyway.
No, because Theresa May will just forbid anyone from doing anything that she hasn't approved of, which is doing really stupid stuff.
Brexit negotiator is a great job because I don't really have to do anything. So I just spend my days measuring trout.
Fine.
Anyway, we'd also like to thank Bamford, Will Driver, and Nelly.
Thank you, Nelly.
And thank you to Show, and thank you to Jan Zantenga, who said that Coleman's secret job is editing podcasts that are successful enough to pay him. Which
Jesus.
Burn.
Whoa! Oh, sorry, Jan Zantinga, for offering you all this free entertainment.
Just
if it's not
unsullied by advertisements. You know, if that's too much for you to deal with, fine. We'll just take it away from you, Jan Zantinga.
I'll let you know that I edit like 6 or 7 different podcasts, and this is the most successful one. So. No, that's not my secret job.
I think he's saying he wants us to put up a paywall, apparently.
Excellent. Okay, just
or
for him.
Patreon panhandling.
Patreon, BRB UK Patreon.
Yes.
Subscribe now and we'll take the ads out.
Yeah, exactly. Or make Tim talk a bit less.
That's a promise we can't keep.
Unedited Tim on Patreon. No, wait. The edited version will be on Patreon. Unedited will be the one we release for free.
The version will not be on.
That's a threat.
Yes. It is a threat. So that's it. We sadly don't have anyone to thank from iTunes or Facebook.
Pity.
But you can go there and write your thought things from your head face and let us know what you think of the show. Do that. And if you go to, www.BigRedBarel.com or just put any old internet address into your browser and put /BigRedBarel after it, you'll probably find us. So that is your lot, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, as always, for listening. And without further ado, I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim, maybe.
I've been Coleman.
Yes, you have.
Coleman, that's me. That's my name. I'm Coleman.
Yes, it is.
Brexit negotiator
Yes,
Coleman.
you are Coleman.
Brexit negotiator. Do you actually want to know my job?
Yes.
Okay, so...
No, keep it a secret. It has to be a secret. We can't tell anyone.
Sorry, guys. I tried.
God damn it!
It has to be maintained a secret.
Are you Tim's
I work
fluffer?
nights and I'm not allowed to talk about it. What?
You're Tim's fluffer, aren't you? You're Tim's fluffer.
No, I'm Batman.
Why would my fluffer work nights when I don't?
What? No. Never mind, Tim.
Why would you need to employ someone just to fluff pillows?
Yeah, innit? Come on.
I don't know, Coleman. That I don't know. He does run the comfiest brothel in all of East Finchley. Anyway, we're getting out of
That's
here.
That's quite a claim.
It is quite a claim. I don't think you got that much competition, to be fair.
Shut up. The one down the road's much nicer.
Oh, nice. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. So thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. And until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
And your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.
Can't believe you're bad-mouthing my brothel.